guys, welcome to my nail page. My name is Jada the Great, and this is Booked by the Icon Nails. I started doing nails in 2022, learning how to do press-ons. Well, I got tired of them popping off, so I learned how to permanently stick them to my nails, which kind of led me to learn acrylics and then polygel and then gel-X. And now I just want to share the process because it's therapeutic for me, and I know it'll be therapeutic for you. So without any further talking, let's get right into it and talk about the nail of the day. This beautiful nude to ultraviolet ombre by Perfect Match Nails. I love that. That's so beautiful. I love anything that shines. Okay. And if you want to achieve this look, stick around, watch the video, get comfortable, because we about to get into it. I'm a slob. I know I'm safe around these niggas. It's a crime mob. Well, CPS should take your junior. So here it is. I'm showing you the acrylic when it changes temperatures. I love that. I love that. That's so pretty. So I'm just gonna take my regular nail finger that I got from the dollar store, about $2, and my favorite nail tips that I got from Amazon. I usually like to shave it down on the inside so that it can really get a strong grip when attaching it to the file and when attaching it to the nail form. Simply because it just sticks a lot better, and kind of hate doing it without it. There I am. Don't mind my little UV lamp. It's seen better days, but it's still going strong. And here I am aligning the nail to the knuckle. Always remember to align the nail with the knuckle so that way it is not crooked. And then I'm just gonna let that sit for about 30 seconds. Now I'm gonna get my tools. I will be using a Goldfinger number 5 brush. I like smaller brushes. Sometimes it's easier to control with. And the Goldfinger brush brands from the beauty store, they're like $2. But they do a really, really, really good job. You just have to keep them clean. And here I am just diluting it with the monomer. These are the three brands the three acrylics I'm going to use. So I'm going to use Mia Secret Covered Nude, Mia Secret Clear, and then this Perfect Match Ultraviolet Nude. I love this Mia Secret Covered Nude. I use it for all of my clients and for myself most of the time when I want the nude base look. I just got this Mia Secret Clear Acrylic. It's new. I really like it. It's malleable. Have to stay in like a mid-temperature area, but I love this new product. I ran out of plain. This is me filing down the edge of the nail. Usually I file at a 45-degree angle from the tip. It kind of gives me the C-curve without having to use the drill very deeply. And this is me just taking the drill and going over the sidewalls of the nail, making sure that I get it as thin as possible and blend it in with the natural mannequin nail. Just as much as possible because you want the acrylic to be able to lay flat. You don't want any strange lines or any humps, lumps, and lovely lady lumps. So, yeah. Now I'm just taking my brush, dipping it in the acrylic. I'm going to take a regular sized bead. And I'm going to place it about halfway towards where the nail meets the mannequin. And then I'm going to hit it with a little bit more monomer and let it fall down with gravity and of its own accord. And just kind of help it down a little bit. Thing about these Perfect Match these mood nails They are kind of thin and they take a while to dry. So this is why I really use a layer of top coat, a layer of clear acrylic on top, so that way that I won't damage it while I'm laying the ombre color. I'm just gonna take another one to deepen its color. I didn't notice when I was setting this up that this nail was a bit longer than I calculated, I would say. So I'm gonna have to, like, account for that shortly. Always remember to take your sidewalls and to take the base of your brush and tap the sidewalls. Oh, a little bit of the acrylic fell on my table. And make sure that those sides are really crisp and clean so that you don't have to do much work on the shaping after. Now I'm going to flip over the paper towel because I really like to use a clean, clear piece of paper towel so I can see, because it just kind of helps me like map how much of product that was in my brush, And here I am taking the nude, and usually with the nude, when I'm doing an ombre, I will use about 2 beads for the blending. One to drag down and kind of give the gradient color from the bottom color in the top. And then I'll make a second one. You see the purple's still not dry, which is kind of crazy because it's acrylic dries in like a minute. And then I use another bead to make the nude color full and vibrant and really not transparent. And then I take my brush and just drag it down a tiny little bit and blend for your life. Sorry, y'all, I just cracked jokes. And this is what we're left with. Do you see how there's this little bit of smudge in the middle from the nude to the ultraviolet? I usually, before I encapsulate and clear acrylic, I usually like to take my file or my drill and use a sanding bit and kind of run over the middle and onto the colors individually, because I want it as vibrant as I can get it at the bottom, and as and as clear as I would like it to be. There me is, taking my drill and just giving a little bit of that blending action. And then I'm taking over. I usually try to tap over the ends because I don't like a crocodile nose at the end of my nails. So I try to make sure that the end is very, very flat. This is me just using a little bit more of the mood nail to kind of bring back that vibrant fullness that I kind of sanded away, which was the point. The point was to take it down a little bit so I can add more. Always remember, when you apply your bead, clean your brush. Tap it down, let the process begin. Once you've put the acrylic bead on the nail, clean your brush. Dip it back in the monomer, and then but wipe it on the paper towel multiple times from both sides in a twisting direction. And dip it back in the monomer, and then you continue with the blending and the pulling down. Now that that's all done, I'm going to take out my clear acrylic and encapsulate the whole thing. When I was learning to do ombres, the person who taught me told me that a layer of clear acrylic to encapsulate it on top, it's kind of going to give you a smoother transition from one color to the next. So it's something I kind of live by now. So yeah, here I am just encapsulating it. I'm watching the magic happen, pulling it down, and trying not to make sure that the apex is way too huge or that the end of the nail is way too thin, because that can happen a lot. So after you've encapsulated, you are left with this. I think I'm gonna give it a little bit more acrylic in the center. It's a little bit uneven, but yeah.
Mile in fog patches and showers early Friday, but improving to greater than 6 miles on Friday morning.
So after you've encapsulated, you're left with this. I'm going to teach you a trick of how to know when the acrylic is dry. Tap it with your file, and it should sound like hard plastic. If it doesn't, then it's not dry, and you need to give it a little more seconds. Typically, on the sides and ends, it will take a little more time. So here I am taking my hand file, and I'm going over the sides and the end, because I want my shape to be very, 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 very crisp. I'm very put heavy emphasis on having my shape be very crisp and clean. And then here's me again taking that file and going over from the front of the nail, because I like that. I like a C curve, but not too deep of a C curve. Because unless I'm doing a duck nail. If I want a duck nail, then I'll do a giant C curve. But for a square, I just want it nice and plain. Here I am taking my drill bit, my cuticle drill bit, to go over the top of the nail and give it that crisp, clean shape at the top without taking too much away from the apex, because that's where all the support of the nail comes from. And now I'm gonna take my 5-in-1 drill bit and just sand over it and make sure that it's all even. There's no humps, bumps, or lovely lady lumps up in here. One thing I love about the 5-in-1 drill bit is that it's literally 5-in-1. You can use this to debulk, to remove, to edge, to shape, to buffer. It's really a one-stop shop. I really want to go back to the store and get like 5 of these just to keep them in rotation because, Jesus, they help a lot. Once that's done, I'm gonna take the hand file one more time and give it a shimmy, shimmy, shimmy on the left, and then a shimmy, shimmy, shimmy on the right. And really just clean up that shape and make sure it's perfect. Do you see that color? That is so pretty. So now that I've pretty much done all the filing and shaping that it's gonna need, and all the buffing, I usually go around the corners from the side with the hand file just so that it could be just a little more symmetric, if that's the word. And this is just me spraying a little bit of alcohol on it to clear out the surface. I don't really use a lot of products on my mannequin fingers because I want them to like kind of, have their integrity. So I'm just usually typically some soap and water or some alcohol. This is my Dashing Diva One Gel Top Coat. I typically use this for the mannequin hands. I don't like to use them on my finished product or on the clients because it has a tendency to be not tacky, but it has a tendency to pick up on dirt very easily, even though it's a non-wipe top coat, which is kind of strange. I think it's kind of weird. But it's gonna be on the display. No one's gonna touch it. No one's gonna see it. So, well, people are gonna see it. But yeah, I usually just don't typically use it on people. I just leave it on the display because that's the quality it gives me a little bit. And there I am, just wiping my sidewalls, making sure it's crisp and clean. And I'm gonna blast that for 60 seconds. I'm gonna have a sip of my Naked, and I'm gonna be done. And this is our final product. Look at that. So beautiful. Thanks for joining. Waiting for your text.